doing that, then everybody else is going to start doing it.
Well, you say these elaborate meals that I bought.
I'm just saying,
Canned food?
yes, including that. Any food?
That woman particularly did. You have to understand when you say something, you should follow
I'll
up.
go get you the policy, okay?
I understand, but she did say that canned food was okay. And it's been this way since I was a 6-year-old boy.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm gonna still eat this shit. She's gonna have to call the police. Have to put me out. You guys, you have to understand here. Because it's not working out for their benefits. Now they're saying I can't eat canned food. I do have a video I did post it with her. She said canned food is good. Then she said, well, then you don't bring a whole cake in here. And I said, okay, I completely understand that. Okay, I always clean up behind myself. I'm still going to eat, okay? So if I'm pulling stuff from the food pantry, all this shit is from the food pantry, okay, particularly stuff I eat. I actually survive off the food pantry now. She's just being a bigger, guys, okay? I'm going to eat, so she can call the police, okay? Then I'm going to leave, okay? Eventually, you know, after I get done charging my phone and stuff. They're just bullshitting, guys, okay? You're not supposed to eat and be on the computers and drink water near the, particularly when it comes to the computers, because they can cause harm to such computers and stuff. I'm very respectful about that. My brother Saeed just sat up here and ate a whole banana and stuff, and you know, a few other things. Okay, why are you not saying anything to them? It's not really elaborate meals. I'm poor. Okay, I understand if I bought in a soul food and stuff. And even that, I've seen people do that and bring in. If you go look at the outside of the trash can, that they have not changed yet. There, people go to Coney Island, and I dug in the trash. So you have to understand. So if they really do have a problem, they said, well, we're going to have to ask her to leave. She would like to go get the policy. I did see the policy. They're enforcing it, particularly is like in association with the black codes, particularly Jim Crow. Certain things that they allow certain people to do, most particularly when it comes to the Caucasians. I've seen the Caucasians bring in a lot more than I've ever brought in. Okay, so particularly, and I even started putting my stuff underneath the desk here, as you can see. Why have I done that? Because I don't want to get in the way of anybody. I did grab some library nooks here. As you can see, I do appreciate the Port Huron Library. It's going to grab another one because particularly when I make up, you know, my study boards and stuff, when I get my own place, if I ever do, the same woman that kicked me out of the library, I still appreciate it, and I do not take anything against the Port Huron Library. I'm not against the Port Huron Library, but I'm against this bigotry here. You have to understand. So I said, well, you can call the police, and then we can file police report, particularly against you, because I'm still going to eat. So if you want to ban me from the library because of this, I said, now I have grounds to sue pretty much all of you. And I'm very calm and relaxed. There's no need to curse. I mean, I do curse. I got PTSD. But at the end of the day, I might as well take legal action right away. Call my family up, call my pops. I say, hey, look, they kicked me outside. So, you know, particularly, I really don't have anywhere to go at this point in time. Okay, to stay warm. Okay, I'll just text my family immediately, let them know. File a police report. That's attempted murder. Okay, you have to understand. She has no conscience. She has no soul. That's okay. That's your pension gone and everything else. If it's worth your pension, it's worth the money that I'm going to make off of you. Okay, particularly in your pension loss and your jobs. You see what I'm saying? I'm very calm. Okay. So as you can see here, when I get a place, since eventually, you know, what they're doing is they're kicking me out of Port Huron. Okay, so I'm taking mementos with me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm eating canned food. It should not be an issue. Okay. How you doing, man? Good, good.
What's up today?
Nothing much. Particularly, I'm just particularly extremely dizzy. I'm okay. I'm just particularly just in defense of myself legally. I'm okay. I'm good. If you're asking how I'm doing today, or you're asking what's going on with me, particularly at this point in time, all I'm doing is just getting these organized. So eventually, when I get a place, I can actually put this stuff on my storyboard because I do love this library, and it motivates me to study, as I'm pretty studious. And but yeah, other than that, low on electrolytes. I'm not feeling too good. I'm gonna step outside for a minute.
Okay.
I'm feeling really dizzy, so I've had a rough day. Particularly, the cops particularly was crazy. This woman that was very drunk, she came down I didn't get much sleep. She came down, particularly from, she was drunk. And she came down while I was sleeping and she was hurling a lot of derogatory slurs. So I came out, I didn't know what was going on. I said, man, fell asleep studying the Word of God. So I came out and the police were actually sitting up there. It was so crazy. But she was yelling her derogatory slurs against the police. She was a drunk Caucasian woman. I didn't know what was going on, okay? So I thought, this woman sounds like she's drunk. She's going to fall into the water. I said, I better call the cops. I said, there's no need to come on, she's a female. Okay, I didn't know she was going to fall into the water. I said, I didn't know what's going on. I said, maybe they're fishing. And she is at the top of the bridge. I wanted to see what's going on because I started being addressed. So that's it. I'm just recovering from the trauma of last night and things of that nature. Yes, any issues? Yeah.
I wanted to let you know that I found out about a resource that I thought
Yeah.
you might find valuable. Do you know where the royal coin is?
Yes, I do.
Next to Jets.
Yeah.
So I have the contact information for the owner, and they will meet people there and offer laundry service. So if you have some clothes that you want to wash or something, because I know sometimes that can be something that you might not have access to. So
Yes, I could use that. They are very decent people, Sean. Christian brothers, Caucasian Christian brothers. I'm not Christian, but they actually held my clothes for me during the periods of, attempted murder and attempted rapes. Not everyone in this city is bad, but there was some issues going on with the police, and he held my clothes for me. He's a genuine Christian. I'm not Christian, but I appreciate him holding my clothes, which I have to go pick those up. But eventually, I appreciate you letting me know that.
Okay.
I'll talk to him about that. I do have his number personally.
Oh, okay.
Been meaning to
Then,
call him.
all right.
I appreciate it. I apologize, but I'm just sitting
I
here
just found
collecting
out about
these.
it because they're part of a community group that partners with other community groups to offer resources to people, and I didn't know if you knew about that. So
I
just wanted to let
appreciate
you
it.
know.
Yes, ma'am. Forgive me. I'm a bit worn out. I need to fix my glasses, so I really don't like not being able to see. I'm so used to them.
Right.
So forgive me. I'm so sorry. I don't want to hold up any more of your time.
Okay.
If you would like to talk about anything else, I'm here.
That's it.
And
Just wanted
thank
to say
you.
hi.
Yes, ma'am. Bless you. Bless you. But guys, as you can see here, I don't take it out on the library. Okay, so if all I have to eat is cereal, okay, and I'm used to bringing milk in here, same thing with the milk bottles, okay, and it's put into a container, particularly a container where a bowl will spill more easy if I'm always constantly cleaning and always asking for materials to clean off your desk in your library, going into your restrooms, particularly of the public, not your library. You just happen to be working here. And I am cleaning up behind the workers here, making it easy for Jacob. And I know him personally. He's the cleaner here, so I know their names. He offered me hot chocolate, so I have nothing against these people, man. You have to understand. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. And I tell them when the restrooms are messed up, so they're making it seem like, what is the reason why you don't want me to bring food in here? You want me to eat outside in the cold, not freezing? This is the only place I have to go. So now you're asking me to eat outside in the cold. Okay, so now you're asking me to keep my food outside as well. So why are people donating food in this library? You have to understand that shit will freeze. So in actuality, it would be an intelligent thing, no disrespect, to make sure when it comes to the food pantry, to somehow set up a system outside of or inside the library where it does not freeze, because the contents in the library, due to the freezing below temperatures, will freeze. So this is the food pantry right here. Gotta understand, and I'm doing it in a respectful way. I could have called her a bitch. I could have went off, but I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's all right. At the end of the day, let the Lord deal with it. I'm trying to change my language and my ways as a minister. This is the food pantry. In this weather, again, when it gets colder, this shit freezes. See? Food pantry. Food pantry. Donations, please. Thank you. Okay. These are the same people that said that they would take my money that I donate to the library after the lawsuit and pocket the children or ask for revenge. This is why I'm not donating to the library, and I hate that. So my memento to the library, my thank you to Paul Huron Library in many years here, is what? Taking the library markers, or particularly these bookmarks, and actually posting them on a time board, particularly with things that I have to do because my mind, I suffer with trauma. So like the cops do when they do investigations. So I'll be doing that. Places I have to go and stuff. When I get a place, I'll have a whole board and I'll just have a room just with boards and stuff. And that's what I'll do, like a detective, because I really do love cops. So those shows I used to watch and shit, it really left an imprint on me, and it's how I solved my case. Law and Order SVU, shout out to all the detectives out there, acting detectives, cops, I love you. Okay. So, people steal my things, so I try not to bring everything in here. Everything will not be brought into the library, just stuff that I could put under the desk. As you can see here, I use this to eat cereal out of, okay? You see this container right here? It's a big ass container. I don't fill it all the way up, okay? It's a container. Why did I get it? Okay? Because I don't want to make a mess in the library. Before they even spoke to me about making a mess, I was already cleaning up the restroom, okay, behind Caucasian patrons, not us. Every time when I would go to the restroom, the Caucasian patron would be walking out, or I can tell, particularly, because a lot of times they boldly admit, yeah, that was me. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here. Just give me a minute. Mind you, they already knew I was going to get milk, and they were trying to combat me eating in the library, doing anything at all. So you have to understand your words are contradictory to the statements or actions of other librarians, particularly Caucasian and the East Indian brother Saeed. Were you going to tell them that too? They were wrong. Okay, they've been very discriminatory against him too. So guys, I really like order. So when I talk to the librarians, as you can see, I was talking to them. When Fran talks to me, or a lot of times, she's talking down at me. But you see how I diffuse the situation. I was not loud or belligerent. I didn't call out a name, but she calls me out my name all the time. See, I set this up like this because I like order. So I set up the time board. I call it the time board or whatever. Okay, or praise board, particularly in worshiping Christ. There'll be a few names. I'll go on through until I get a final name or finalization of a name, but I'll name it. And then each, wall, particularly, you have to understand. Also, it helps with language studies too, particularly. Okay, or you can build sections like a office of sorts and build walls within there, within walls of a storyboard. Then when you're done with the information, you can put all that shit down. Like it's be a form of learning and keeping track of things, because I do have trauma and PTSD. So like puzzles. So it's going to be one big puzzle. Like my language is just one big puzzle. Okay? So you have to understand. There's puzzles over there. I'm not trying to maliciously record anyone, but they do have puzzles in the library. He's doing a puzzle right now. It's actually very nice. Okay? I don't have time to do puzzles. And it's puzzles of chocolate chip cookies. Well, cookies. I love cookies. So I'm the kind of guy that would make a puzzle and glue it together and just keep it for sentimental value. I'm that simple kind of guy. So, okay, I'm not a threat, guys. If they're trying to kick me out saying I'm a threat, my voice is ethically threatening, how do they look in court? I am slow. I am autistic, okay, to a certain extent. So people even call me retarded even when I was young because of the way I do things. Okay, look at this. I'm eating this in the library, right? They're saying I can't eat it anymore. Okay, since I was a 6-year-old boy, we've been able to do this. Same guy that likes to dig in his pants and touch on himself, okay, has a drink where the computer's off. You know how much trouble they would get into if someone spilled that when it comes to federal government money? It won't be, what I'm saying, trouble, they would have to come down on them, okay? Okay, so I don't want to ruin it for other librarians. This is why I have a system of doing things, okay, especially for the homeless community. It's not fair. I'm in representation of them in the sense that, okay, well, if he's doing this and he's homeless, and most of the homeless people around there in this community are white. Yeah, go figure. Particularly the only homeless, quote unquote, black or Hebrew young lad here, particularly, or lad, he's not too young, but he's going back to Ann Arbor. He's trying to go back to Ann Arbor, so I'm the only one here, so you have to understand. Pretty discriminatory, particularly they are homeless. There's a homeless network here, particularly, or homeless shelter here, practically they're all white. Extremely racial in there, okay, particularly when it comes to my penis, so that's why I don't go. So I just decided to survive on the streets. So if I'm the issue here, then they can call the cops and we can talk about this and we can file a police report on the countless of videos that I have on you, and then they can direct me to a lawyer's office, particularly, or give me advice, because I would go for advice, and then I said, well, look, sir, I'm asking for your advice on this particularly, and I would sit down and say, well, look, I tried to ask for their advice, it just didn't feel right to me. I felt a tinge possibly of animosity. Don't know what it was. Yeah, so I would actually try, but I'm trying to get a little outside the city. So as you see, I'm sitting everything under the desk. I don't use 2 desks because that's selfish. Now, if no one's coming in, then they would complain and say, hey, well, look, you use 2 desks, knowing that I would move my stuff, but that's ridiculous. If I'm bringing in more stuff to take up 2 desks, that's kind of ridiculous, and and then they want to get me on something. So I will move immediately. That's the kind of person I am, guys. I'm not selfish. So I sit this here. So I stay later. I usually leave at 6, but if I stay later, because I'm a bit lactose intolerant, so if I'm eating milk or something, or if it's an emergency, I need to stay later than I would. But you mainly I'll leave at 6. Okay, I just want to explain that. I do have a system of order here. I have nothing against people. Okay, I just have to do this to protect myself. I'm talking to the camera, not talking at or anybody or threatening in any kind of way. When you're doing these things, you're threatening my civil liberties. Okay, so I like order. So I'm all about order, okay? Because I never had much order in my life, ever. So when I was able to have some kind of independence working, order was a big thing for me. I wore the same thing like the military. Some people say I would have been a perfect soldier, okay? I wore the same thing. Got up, did the same thing, had an order, a system that I followed, okay? So I'm going to move this stuff, okay? Okay, a lot of this stuff I'm taking with me, okay? I'm not going to be bringing it all the time. So once it gets cold, I'm only going to be bringing my book back. But because of the situation of me getting kicked out the library, and them saying earlier about robbing me, taking my only means of income, puts you in a situation where you're asking me to do these things, but you're guilty as all hell. So you look guilty in court. You're not helping prove your case. You're helping prove mine. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to curse all the time and call motherfuckers bitches and shit like that. So they say, well, your language is very poor. And I said, well, we can talk to an officer to mediate, because clearly I cannot communicate with you when your language is very poor. Off camera. Okay. Even on camera quite a few times. Okay. You have to understand. So you take a polygraph test in regards to the statements that you've made and things that you're doing, and saying, do you have any animosity against Easton? Did he really do anything wrong? How far do you think you're going to get in court as Hawkshaw Dick Danko, as a detective myself? Okay. You lost, but you want to keep it going, that's fine, call the police. And then when they kick me out, it's just going to prove the whole city, particularly the police department is racist, and I will state that. And you help me build my case. Okay? I love cops. That's why I do storyboards. Not even a storyboard. You can call it a storyboard, whatever. But things to do, because I have trauma. The way my mind works is why I do things. I time everything. Throw my trash away. I had to grab one more. So according to the books that I have, I wasn't just taking them just to be aimlessly taking them, It's a purpose. This is a method to the madness, guys. Okay, so posts on the web immediately. But see, as you can see here, it's very nicely done. As you can see, I'm a bit autistic. You see? So I had an order, a reason why I do this. You see what I'm saying? A reason. Okay, you see that? Now imagine if you put this on a board. Okay, storyboard, the design. Okay, now some people say it's demonic. No, I just like the artistic value of it. Okay, not in celebration of Halloween. I just think the artistry is pretty cool. They drew this. It's really cool. So I'm just a big kid. Okay, I'm the kind of dude that would sit there and build Legos. Okay, those Lego things and glue that shit together. Okay, that's the kind of shit. I'm serious. I said they have a Lego world in my house, and you think I'm playing? Like the balls. See your balls. You go to those balls that you used to jump in as a kid. The McDonald's Playhouse. Particularly. Okay, I used to love that shit. Imagine if I went to my study, like I set up a study, like something like this, kind of like the library but smaller. And then I jumped into the balls, and then I had to swim, because I love water and shit, but I can't swim, so I'll use the balls instead of actually having water until I learn how to swim, finish teaching myself, and then I'll come out of the balls, climb out of the balls or something, and then go into like my study tree house or some stupid shit like that, because I like nature, I like trees, you know, in relation to the tree of life, and knowledge in relation to trees. Okay, all right, and trees in relation to knowledge. So it'd be something real symbolic, and it's just the fun thing, you know. So it's time to go study something silly and stupid. Then I have a way of washing the balls where you can like possibly fill it up with water or something, or you could just spray them down or something. You know, you probably, I would want to clean them, so I would figure out a way of cleaning them. They really don't clean them, you know, from what I heard. But like I say, it is what it is. I'm pretty slow. This is the way my mind thinks. Create a storyboard, not even storyboard, but this is time board, schedule. I learn visually, but also audible. So I'm quite dizzy, but you have to understand I forgive. So if they feel the need to change the rules, like black codes, certain things are allowed for certain people in the library and things of that nature, which, come on. So now, particularly, if you change this, you're saying that this is for the whole library. Then that means now you are liable to get sued by every individual in here. Particularly, did you know that? Even the Caucasians. So I'm fighting for their rights too on public grounds. If you're changing them based off of me building this case or what you have personally against me, that's a personal vendetta. Now, someone could come behind me and be like, hey, I'm Caucasian. I don't agree with what they're doing to you. I want to help you in your case. I feel like they discriminated against me because they did say that the Caucasians that stuck up for me or stick with me or particularly, you know, are neutral, say, hey, look, I don't agree with that, but I don't want anything to do with it, or the disposable whites. It's not really a neutral party. So you got to understand the sticky situation that they put themselves in. And then this is how I'm dealing with you. And I'm actually only getting better, even with my speech. So I'm actually really trying, and the Lord is really working with me and giving me a piece of puzzle understanding. So where do you fit in when it comes to all of this in the court of law? So you have now made yourself a liability. Everyone that walks in here, your job, your pension now can be taken from anyone. That means me building this case, if someone wanted to come to me and be like, hey, look, we want to assist you, I say that's perfectly fine. Okay? You want to be a part of this lawsuit? I put my salvation on it. Let's do it. I've already built it. Okay? Then I throw them some money when we win the case. I'm generous like that. I say, shit, motherfucker, I just need you to let me know what's going on. Okay? Just let me know. Be my eyes and my ears. That's what I was trying to do with my community. It's the Caucasians particularly, but there's not really any good Caucasians. And they know how my heart is. I have a good heart. Okay? They take advantage of that. Now, they even said that I am... they said that, you know, me cursing them out, they say, well, he could call us, you know, bitches and all these things, but I try not to do that. Okay, I'm trying to be professional and civil. They're very unprofessional. According to the standards of my faith, my father, when it comes to keeping all conversation clean, it would be very inappropriate and it would be very disrespectful to you. Why would you allow me to do something like that unless you were in the wrong and you couldn't really do anything about it? But I chose not to take advantage of that situation, particularly. There's been a few times where I've slipped and said things because, particularly, they really pushed the envelope, okay? But I really don't like to speak that way, okay? They would call me so many niggas, and then what really got me was the talking of the molestation of young boys and children, including the disposable whites, creating a class system or a caste system where there's a lowly caste system where their children are took just for the exploitation and rape and then cast aside, and then, you know, they have children and then they're took. This pretty sick. Kind of like Pizzagate, but a society, you know, based off of technocracy. Well, instead of a technocracy, a rapeocracy. Okay? Technocracy is a society that's run by scientists and things of that nature, okay? Science, technology, the investments of such, and those who all are able to create and build ingenuitively these things and controlling society based off of this knowledge and keeping it to themselves. We are kind of like a technocracy. Kind of like sci-fi dystopia, particularly kind of thing, Mad Max kind of thing. Not yet. I think it will get to that point. But you have to understand. I'm going to sit here. Okay. Now I eat cereal out of this. It doesn't even fill up. I don't fill it all the way up. That's ridiculous. I'm lactose intolerant. So I'll eat this cereal. I ate a few bowls. Okay, sometimes all cereal is all I can afford in regards to buying what I've had to buy because I've been kicked out of the library. So if cereal is all I have, and you're saying that, this is a snack, right? It's not a whole course meal or fancy. So they said, according to Fran, that this bag of cereal right here, if I open this bag up and I eat this, can't eat it in the library, but it's a snack. It's not like it's a Thanksgiving dinner. By the way, there is there's a soup kitchen that, we used to come here all the time and bring meals in from the soup kitchen. So when you have people that are homeless, they have nowhere else to go. Even the police and everyone tells you to go to the library. Even I do. And they will put things up here. Now, it's very disingenuous when they will put things up here, particularly in saying we assist the homeless, we support the homeless. But when it comes to the complexion of their skin, mind you, or if they're native Hebraic Spartan horsemen, or if they have an abnormally large penis or a penis that is a bit larger than what is to be expected when it comes to the men of their community, that's where it gets real sticky. It gets real fishy, no pun intended. So you have to understand, can they really explain this in court? I can remember it. Look, can they remember their statements in their lies? I can. I have many recordings. I have videos. I'm very relaxed. I'm calm. I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident. To the point where I'm not sitting up here, hey, BB, this and that. You see how I talk to them in a real soft-spoken tone. I can get my point across. I don't have to disrespect you like you disrespect me every day. And insult my intelligence. I may be autistic, a bit retarded, okay, and have my way in like puzzles and shit, but you're not gonna get that one over me. So now you're messing with me, messing with someone that's handicapped, that's dyslexic, a bit autistic. I am, a bit retarded. I'm of a minority group. Not only am I considered black, as they call me, but I'm also a Jew. Okay. All right. Not only that, my vision is bad, because people like you put me in this situation where I had to read in the dark. Okay. I'm missing one eye at this point in time because of all the stress and trauma. Me having to live out in the wilderness, me falling, me collapsing. What am I supposed to do? You're asking so much of me when I'm the patron here. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Is it not your job to serve us, as this is a business, a service, okay, to the public? Okay, not a Ku Klux Klan rally that you act like it is, and pushing your ideology, as well as the many police that have come in here and spoke against me and my due diligence and my studies, my citations and things of that nature, as well in association with Facebook, libel suit now. I'm just saying, I can't even get on the computers. That's why I leave at 6. So what more do you want me to do? I'm already leaving out early for you guys. I clean up the restrooms. Okay. Come on. Put my stuff underneath the desk. Okay. Step outside when I need to. Okay. If it gets too bad. Okay. Which I don't really explode, but I just assert myself. You threaten me to put your hands on me, saying that you would if there was no cameras and if there was no laws protecting me, you would smack me up, take off my glasses, spit on me every time I tried to read, wouldn't let me use the food pantry, all kinds of stuff. So you have to understand, I'll forgive them, but I say you can call the cops and they can just escort me out this library, okay? And I guess I'll speak the Miranda rights to myself, because they said, I'm not even worth speaking my Miranda rights to, or worth speaking the Miranda rights to, because of the complexion of my skin and being a Jew. So I actually have the Miranda rights on my phone. I believe I downloaded it just in case. I said, you gonna read me my Miranda rights, officer? So I plan ahead of time. You can get sued for police not reading your Miranda rights. They have arrested you unlawfully. So you don't read the Miranda rights, you can sue them. It's part of their job. Especially if they arrest you illegally and then they read that shit. Oh, you got their ass. You got like a $2 million lawsuit. Million, 2, 3, possibly, depending. When it comes to actually paying for medical expenses, what is wrong with me? Mentally, I have pains in my brain, oftentimes on my head and body. I have back pains and stuff. All these things I can't pay for. Who's going to pay for this? Lifelong therapy plan. Education. Pension. I don't have a pension to put money into. I'm going to be working for the rest of my life because of people like this. Okay, I do need the lawsuit. Okay, at this point in time, I depend on it. You ruined my life. And you continue to do this. Okay, so you want to starve me now? Surviving off of $5.68. Sometimes I eat cereal. Sometimes I just fast. I can't eat anything because I can't afford to spend. I have the exact amount that I'm supposed to spend. I know the exact amount of money that I get and the exact date, re-update, down to the very cent. I was getting harassed at the store before me as well, particularly because of the lies and defamations of the workers here in this library. It all falls back to the library. And you have to understand, it's so messed up. I depend on these people. My life is in their hands at this point in time. The police as well. Because you put me in a situation due to the releasing of my former name. How many times do they say my former name, Fenardic? Allegedly, that's what they say. I mean, that's what they say it is. Fenardic. Fenardic. Why is there dick? There's no dick in my former name. But they like to say that. They say it is to get underneath my skin, but they also say it's too hard to pronounce Ease. That's they call me Ease. They say, no, we'll just call you Fenardic. Fenardic, we'll call you what we want to call you. Why is that? Because I'm a slave to them. And look, I don't want to curse them out. Okay? You have to understand. Okay? They can say whatever they want to me. They can do whatever they want to me within the guise of the law. But once you go over and cross that bridge, you are now liable to get sued in the organization that you work for, or federal, whether it's federal, private, okay, public, because there are public federal organizations, there are private federal organizations, privately owned businesses, publicly owned businesses, corporately owned businesses. So you got 3 forms of ownership according to my understanding of ownership. I don't understand business completely or ownership, because I never owned anything in my day in my fucking life because of people like this. Imagine how many degrees I would have had by now with my kind of mind and being on the streets of my temperament. I lost 9 years of my life, coming up to 9. I should have had all kinds of degrees. They took that away from me. How many more years will they take away from me? Think about that. If I'm always in the library all the time, if I'm this studious and this disciplined to build this whole case, oftentimes they say all the time, that nigger kike, that over-illiterate nigger should be in school. We don't want him to go to school because he'll be smarter than our boys. He's smarter. He's smarter than our average. Smarter than our average Caucasian. Smarter than our girls. He would be even considered smarter than even our geniuses. They say that they're Mensa babies. That's what they say. Mensa County. Is this what Mensa does? Children of Mensa. They did say this. They said they were hiding bigot geniuses. Hiding little dick geniuses. Hiding little dick bigot geniuses at that. Then they said they were gods. First they said they were just gods. And then when I proved that they had little dicks, they say, we are, even though we have little dicks, at least we're still gods over you, even though we're little dick gods now. Because when they could not refute it anymore because of the videos that I had and the information and, my building above the case and the time laws, particularly the videos and the recordings as well. And they were based off of their reactions and not being able to get employment when they realized they could not control their bigots any longer. They said they said they have full control over themselves. We just choose. That's what they said. They choose not to. Then they admitted that we don't have control over our hates. That's what they call their little hates in relation to their little penises or little dicks. Do I have a reason to lie? They could put me on a polygraph test. I look crazy as hell. Look at this. I got one eye and shit. Didn't even put on my turban right. That's why I need my glasses. Am I really saying anything threatening? They can go back over these videos, and then the police particularly, and we can look at it for what it is. Am I really causing any harm, police? Are you going to escort me out this library? Well, can you pick me up, please, and carry me out? And if you're going to arrest me, please read me my Miranda rights. And I'll record the whole thing. Could I lean on your shoulder, please? And then I'm going to have that camera all in their face. You think I'm playing? Just for my protection, just because you try to toss me down, beat my ass like Rodney King. And then you help me carry my stuff out because I'm dizzy. I'm in this library for a reason. If you're not going to let me eat, please. Can you pour my cereal for me too? And wipe my ass? I'm being silly, but that's pretty much what you... I mean, my life is in your hands. Okay? Can you pour the water into my mouth? So I'm your boy, I'm your slave. You want me to be completely dependent on you? I'm autistic, man. I'm handicapped. I don't got time for this. Okay, so I make these boards. That's why I collect these. I start collecting them because I won't be able to donate and give back to the library because of their lies. It's God. You know, the individual that I spoke to, Veronica, Cody. This individual that likes to talk about molesting young Chinese girls and boys, saying that it doesn't matter. He can cross-dress the Chinese boys. The Chinese boys are actually a lot better because he can cross-dress them. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. Dress them up like girls, dress them up like boys. You know, a lot of Chinese, particularly Asians, not all, they do look androgynous. If you cannot tell, particularly, all right, they do look quite effeminate. I've noticed. And think about it, anime, manga, they do look androgynous. There's a lot of androgyny going on. A lot of them do look like young boys. And they look very young. Take care of their skin very well. You know, if they were dressed like women and things of that nature. Some do. Actually, a lot of the boys in Thailand, you know, or particularly Thailand or Bangkok, particularly Bangkok, no pun intended, they actually get surgery and they say it's a lot easier to, it's a lot easier to, particularly, you know, be a woman and have a man take care of them. And a lot of them look like women and they actually look better than a lot of women. And I hate to say that. I've looked at them and I said, whoa, you can actually look at them and like, wow, oh my goodness, looks like an actual woman. Then they get the thing where they actually get their penis cut off, and then when it comes to their penis, particularly, excuse me, so sorry. When it comes to their penises, particularly, they have this device where they'll stretch out. They have to use this. I can't remember what it's called. I studied this, and it stretches out as you know to keep the hole open because there's a wound, so it will heal itself. So they have to use this device, like every day, I believe. It's crazy. It's crazy. But even they have said it. Particularly when it comes to the young children. When it comes to children, even when it comes to Caucasian children, some Caucasian children, or a lot of them particularly, look androgynous. I'm not the only one that thinks this, but you can, you know, if you dress them up particularly, you know, or just, you couldn't tell. You got a lot of this movement where they're actually getting their things amputated and stuff, and these looking like men, looking like women, particularly. Now that's transgenderism. What I'm saying is androgyny is something different. You have qualities or appearance like both male and female. Okay? I'm not talking about the transgenders, but I'm just saying. Just bringing that in as an example to bring it all in together and let you know this is what I'm going through. I don't have to make these time boards, or you can call them storyboards or whatever you want to do, you know. Or order boards of order. I have to think about it, what I'm going to name them. Well, I'm kind of childish. I am, okay? But I'm not as childish as they are. You see, I had to take the high road. I chose to take the herb and be more mature. Now, I could have threatened them and say this, that, and the other. I said, well, you just call the police, because at this point in time, my life is in your hands. And the first thing I'm going to say, are you going to read me my Miranda rights? Am I under arrest? Then what are you doing in the library? Because if you're not, then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat. Okay. I won't say that the first time, but I'll say it the second time. And I could say that. And that's even if there is a second time. Okay? Now, this individual right here told me to shut up. They'll tell me to shut up all the time. Okay? You gotta forgive them. His penis is his weakness. So he put his head down and said, now everyone knows my secret. My penis is my weakness. If my penis was my weakness, something I don't even use, don't you think I would have fell under pressure? Okay? I forgive. Okay? One day I'm gonna have me a dog, possibly a farm or just a place to stay. Living out there in the wilderness, quiet life. Ministering, helping the kids of the neighborhood, foster care, building up the economy, possibly of another country, because they pushed me out of my own country because of their small penises and poor hygienes and getting burnt up by the sun and being bad at evolution, as they say, being recessive and all. Now having the genetic makeup to be able to survive. I actually sent that to the police. Caucasians themselves have said that. They said technically we don't do evolution well, or when it comes to evolving and being able to survive and sustain ourselves in environments. I sent it to the police. They probably deleted it. I heard they delete a lot of stuff that I sent to them. And he explained it in a very scientific way. Now, I'm saying this. I'm not saying that they cannot survive. Okay? I'm not making these statements. I was shocked to hear Caucasians say that. But he gave, he particularly talked about the sun. He said the sun will burn us out. And he said, well, don't, when it comes to living in climates with the sun, but even when it comes to in cold climates, he gave some good points. I don't believe in the statement where people who lived in colder climates, their complexion just happened to change because of evolution. I don't necessarily believe in evolution, okay? That's why I don't believe in that bullshit. I truly believe if you put someone in a climate, you put us in a climate, phenotype. We affect the climate. The climate does not affect us to the point where we change evolutionally. If Christ came down on this earth and he was a dog man, as it's been proven, do you think for the thousands of years that he's been in existence and being a Hebrew or a Negro, why has his color not changed? According to the Russian archives, his skin is very dark. Using Christ as an example, and he's the oldest being there is, and his color has not changed. I'm just saying, based off of scriptures, okay? And I guarantee you, if you put a man of my color or the darkest Africans that you can think of and teach them how they adapt in the cold, or they'll figure it out, do you think after a century or so, evolution will take place? For example, the South Africans. How long have the South Africans, the white South Africans, that keep catching skin cancer and stuff, their skin is not darkened, their hair is not kinked up? Because they say, when it comes to our kinky hair, it's due to evolution. I don't believe that shit. Okay? Africa is hot as hell. Okay? They should have adapted by now. Has it been long enough? What about the white Egyptians? Or if the Egyptians were really white, and if you're talking about hundreds or thousands of years, the Egyptians, they say, were white. Okay. Okay. In that hot climate, evolution would take place. They would be dark, but there's white today, right? Now, originally, according to what I've read, the Egyptians are actually black. Of the father of Ham, of the dark races, besides the Negroes, the Libyans, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, and the Canaanites. That's in the Bible dictionary that I carry with me every day. So we have to look at this from a realistic perspective. What happened? Using the Egyptians. Wouldn't their skin become dark? Wouldn't they be dark today? Or were they always black? And it's just different people inhabiting the land. It doesn't make any sense when they say that. The things that they say, if you really do due diligence and you really look at it from a logical and credible perspective, and realistic perspective, and unbiased perspective, and as me being pro-truth, a pro-truth detective. Okay, hog, shark, dick, danko. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. Something not adding up, and I'm an inquisitive motherfucker too. I will create storyboards, or particularly boards of due diligence, and build the cause and effect, and study the evolutionary markers and points of where the change happened, and read the books just to prove my point that it does not make sense. And I might just write a book on it. And I will spend the rest of my life doing it, going back to it. And if I am wrong, I can admit that. Can they admit that? That they were not the seed of civilization? In the humanities, liberal arts, languages. Okay, the sciences. Or God. Or the seeds of other deities, the creation of these other worshipings of gods, which originally were black. See these gods with green and blue skin? That is the sign of nobility, and it's talking about being dark-skinned, black, color. They didn't become white until later on. Okay, even the Queen of Sheba, okay, she was deified. There are people in Africa that their skin is so dark it's blue. They call it like blue people or something. It's crazy. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, green, also sign of fertility god, growth, prosperity. Give me other things too. I study this stuff. I study the other gods and deities, and I will continue to understand the heritage and the root of people, where they come from. You can easily associate people in their tribal association and their markers. They go by different names today and trace the origin of them based off of the gods. If you cannot trace based off of their gene pool, if you do not have access or the laboratory to do so, or access to their DNA, and based off of their spirit according to scriptures, in regards to the Holy Spirit, and do the due diligence that other people have already done. All you have to do is map it out, and that's why you make storyboards, or I say time boards. So when they said this shit, I come in here. I usually leave early, but this is why I have to stay later, because I'm so dizzy now because of all the trauma and of yesterday. Okay, now I prefer to leave at 6. Okay, they had to drag that woman up, and you see it too. I had a video. I gotta post that shit. I believe I already did. They had to drag the woman, the Caucasian woman, call me derogatory slurs, talking about my penis and taking such a penis. Now the police can say, well, she really didn't say that. I said I heard penis, and they say so much, and then you got people in the background talking about it during this whole incident. It was crazy. I'm not trying to lie. So if they took a polygraph test and say, you know, oh, my intention is not to lie, but what I've heard, and I'm woken up out my sleep constantly. But no, it's true. I'm serious, man. This is what I was hearing. Okay, so if I misheard, no, I can stepped out and listened to them for quite some time. And then I was listening to him. I woke up, I had to piss. I was pissing in the bottle. I said, what the hell's going on? And I gave her some time. I said, maybe they'll pass. But she just sounded like a drunken mess. And I just saw how she talked, because a lot of them actually talk like that. Like they're drunk. Drunk off atrocity is their philosophy. Drunk off damnation. Like drunk off my dick. Like they just don't give a fuck. So it gets to a point where I just have to go above them and beyond and go outside the city for assistance. It gets to the point where if the police came in here, I would ask them a simple question. What was the vow that you took? Could you repeat the vow to me that you took? Do you think you're serving your vow right now? I'll just say it real simple, officer. What do you think the court or my lawyer is going to say, and the judge that's trying this case against you and your department? It's real simple. I'm going to get straight to the point. Okay? It's real simple. Be straight to the point. You know you're wrong. You know you're wrong. Now you're proving your race. Proving how much you hate your people. That is, you know, as you call them, the disposable whites. You know, I guess that makes you the despicable ones. I guarantee you the hardcore white supremacists, the ones with true intelligence, will call you fucking idiots and won't even identify with you or this county. You have elite white supremacists with money, and they wouldn't even partake in this stupid shit or associate with it. With money. They really do hate us and have the money to back it and show it. Do you think they support this dumb shit? And let me ask you something. When it's putting their bank accounts on the line, the bottom line, their dollars, their blood runs green, so they'll work with you. Okay? But these hicks right here, who have absolutely nothing in comparison to them, can't even work with you. Now he's telling me to shut up, okay? You have to understand. Because he's a bigot. His penis is his weakness. I'm a pacifist, though. He was threatening me quite a bit. So you have to just ignore these people when they say these things. I would ask them, would you stop sticking your hands in your pants? For there are kids in this library that come in here, and to see that, you could be put on a sex offenders list, buddy. I understand. Well, I can't say I understand your desire to want to molest kids, but it seems like every time these children, when they close up, when these children come into this library, buddy, your hand seems to be always down your pants. And the librarians see it and don't say anything. Okay. Alright. You see what I'm saying? He was talking about kids too. I have no reason to lie. Put me on a polygraph test. That's why you hid. You went missing for some time. And they located him. They put on the, I followed the police. Put on the department of the website of Facebook Police Department. People who went missing. He admitted that he was hiding. Why was he hiding now? Because he was guilty as hell. I got nothing to hide, bro. Okay. Okay, he can say he was interested in himself and stuff like that, but your hand down there for that long. I got a whole video of it. Just sitting down there comfortably. Them kids walk in, your eyes is all eyes on me. Said it Tupac, molest Pac. All eyes on me. Okay. Then you have to talk about how unsanitary it is for him to touch all over the keyboard but they say something about me cleaning up after others, but nothing about him. Look at the complexion of his skin. They like to be dirty. They admitted that. That's why they tell me not to clean up. They admit that shit. I don't like to be dirty. I'm homeless. I'm cleaner than them. I like to brush my teeth 3 times a day. And if I don't, it's because I'm getting harassed and I'm in situations like this. It's real simple. So he can tell me to be quiet all day. I'm doing this legal representation of myself and protect myself. So I'm not saying anything that's not true. Just saying. So I said, but wait a minute, guys. I made this video of him doing this. If you're going to arrest me, you should arrest everyone in this library then. What about the librarians? What about yourself? Releasing my former name, officer. And I say that too. I say, excuse me, officer, have you figured out who released my former name? Because the reason why I'm in this situation is someone in your department. Pretty much it was the whole department. And I would say, very inquisitively. And I say, well, have you figured it out yet? So I can get off the streets. So do I have to take legal action? Are you arresting me because of this? Me having the evidence proving that, your department released my former name? And by your arresting of me, are you saying you're complicit in this act of the violation of my privacy? What's your badge number, please? What's your name? Hell, what's your address? What's your pension account? It's an actual pension account. It's actually a pension is an account, or particularly when it comes to your social security number, it's tied to that. It's real simple, man. We all have papers or paperwork, I call it. Government has paperwork on all of us. Okay? And the social security number, from what I can recollect, is the amount of money they think you're going to make when it comes to your lifetime on this earth. Money that you will never see the amount of in total. Because of living expenses and things, taxes and things will always keep you down as the working class poor. Okay, now these people, in a sense, in comparison to me, I'm poor. And they're rich to me. They got cars, they can work. I'm like a third fucking class citizen. That's what they treat me like. I might as well move out of America. I don't ever want to go through this again. You see how civilized they are? Do I have to curse them? Particularly curse them out, call them out their names like they do me all the time? They're so intelligent. They're Mensa. But it is what it is. Nothing personal, just business. Standing 10 toes down on business. Standing on the rock of the cornerstone that the bigots have refused. That of my father's business, that of which, of course, I will never divorce. They really had to pull that woman from being down there at the bridge, pull her up, and she said no. Call the ambulance and everything. It was that serious. She was cursing the whole time she was going up there. They actually had to pull her. I actually had the video. Grabbed the leg, she, wouldn't move. She didn't want to get up. She said, I can walk myself. Call me nigga. She called me a niggy. As they like to call me too. They like to call our children nigglets. Niggs. But it's not racist though, because they didn't say nigger with the ER. Oh my goodness. They found a loophole to be racist and call us niggas. Like when they say kike, they say it's not racist because you're not Jewish. Michelle. These are the things they say. The Liberians. I said, well, wait a minute. I'm associated with them, don't you know? Yiddish is mixed with Hebrew. It's Germanic, German, and Hebrew. That's what it is. Kike is associated with Yiddish. It is Yiddish. It means circle, or excuse me, associated with circles, particularly Kaikela. If I'm pronouncing that right. KikeleH. Michelle said that, we really can call you guys. I said, you sure can. I really can sue. They would call them kikes too. I mean, it's me. Come on. Before he was even a derogatory slur. And then it got taken and used as a derogatory slur, particularly by white Americans. Okay. So if it's mixed and tied to Hebrew, if I'm the original stock of Hebrew stock, okay, when it comes to Yiddish, which I do and plan on learning hopefully one day, it's different languages, but they have similar roots. Okay? So Yiddish is just a Germanic version of Hebrew. The Russians, when it comes to the Slavs, particularly those people, Jewish Russians. Okay? Down there in Germany, and the navigations of the land. Okay? I actually have the citation in the video. I did it, I saved it online, somewhere on the line, on the web. Wikipedia, but, credible, Alright, you just have to check behind that information when it comes to Wikipedia, because it's not always credible. Particularly a .org site or .edu. I learned that in college. It stuck with me, man. College was a very defining moment for me. Now imagine how defining it would be. 9 years of my life gone. 9 years of my life of education. Strong. But give me liberty or give me death. As an indigenous American, grabbing my dick until my last breath. They don't want me to go to school. This is a university for me. I'm in a university. I call it Bigger University, okay? So it is what it is. Nothing personal, just business. Standing 10 toes down on business. And this is Easton the Lowly Jew, wild man and born of a heart of truth. Okay? And I approve this message brought to you so dizzy I had to eat. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. And before I explode in my expression of a climactic ending as I digress. Okay. You have to understand. They also said they're not exposed because they're white. It's the whole world will side with us, nigger, kike. No one will believe you. That's why I have to get a lawyer outside of town. They're right when it comes to Port Huron in St. Clair County. They said even if I got a lawyer particularly, and they put their hands on me or something like that particularly, they even said the NAACP, we got the NAACP in our pocket, nigger, okay? The biggest branch in the NAACP is 313. I'm from the 313. They also say they treat me like this because I'm from the 313. So what kind of law of discrimination is that a part of? You discriminating against me because of the city I'm from? It's ridiculous. You're going to sound like a fucking idiot. It's going to show how petty they are and how childish they are. Should they really be working in public services when it comes to public services? Geniuses. Mensas, as you call it yourself. Public services. You're dealing with the public. Okay, so you're going to deal with all kinds of people in this county. Jewish, East Indians, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Eritreans, Hamites, Chinese, Japanese. You're dealing with the public. If you're racist, you really shouldn't be dealing in public services, particularly. You should find a field that caters to your beliefs when it comes to your uncontrollable and unbridled hatred. Clearly, you cannot control your tongues. It's real simple. This case is already made, particularly by the library, a pillar of white supremacy and the worship of all things bigotry and penis. The library is a separate entity from the police. So should I sue the police station first or the library? And then come back around and sue the police? Or Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King, Birchwood Mall, Target, YMCA. Where do I start? Where do I start? I believe that's all the places. I think there might be a few more. For one city, a small town, that's a lot of places to sue on an individualistic level. There's probably more, I just can't remember. I mark my times down for that reason. Every place that I go into and the issues that I have. Oh, bus terminal, bus station. The library, and do I sue the library for kicking me off the bus? Which it was not the library, but is it their problem? It's the bus. Is the city and the police department the same? In the same cuff or same category, legally? No. No. City bus terminal system, public terminal. Are the police a public transit center? No. Okay, but it is associated with the city. Okay, police department. Do you sue the bus station? Do I sue the police for the bus station kicking me off the bus? I don't know law. That's why I'm a layman, and I will get a lawyer, and we'll figure it out if they want to stick with me going through each trial after trial after trial. Looking at it from a realistic standpoint, now they said, well, look, we're not going to let you do that. You might as well just sue the city, nigger kike, so we can harass you in every other establishment. So based off of that, my word and video proof of this, they must know law better than me. The whites anyway, the bigger bites. But I think what I'm saying is of sound mind and understanding. Okay? And I think what they're saying is very unsound and illogical. Oh, I'm just saying. But we'll find out when I get a lawyer, which I'll be looking for very soon. Actually, I am right now, particularly. Trying to decide who I want to go with. I looked at legal firms and things of that nature. I have all these numbers of the NAACP in my phone, which I showed yesterday, showcased particularly, all over Michigan. If I can't use the NAACP here, then isn't there some kind of law or some kind of jurisdictional format of legal services where I have to possibly go outside of the city because they won't serve me right in regards to standing for my civil liberties in my case because of their complexion of their skin? This is why I have to go outside the city. When I explain this case, they're going to be like, well, you have to use the jurisdiction of that city. And I said, say if I can't use the jurisdiction of the NAACP, the case is much bigger now. Now I would have a case against the NAACP of the city as well. Technically, but not being able to actually sue them unless I had actual proof. Think about People Ready. I have to sue them. I sent an email of evidential proof. They did not send anything back because they're guilty as hell. They did not apologize. They didn't send anything. Said, what are you talking about? They didn't deny the claims. Not only did I write down particularly every word that they said, just about verbatim, I wrote down a poem beneath that as well, regardless of how I felt. So that's True Blue. People Ready is in 50 different states. The only access that I had to employment, and they said that I was their worst enemy. Still have the email. I posted it actually on Facebook. So everybody saw that shit. Facebook said I'm a bigot though. Based off what I'm saying, my verbiage after watching this video and the many others that led up to this point, due to Facebook posting that I speak hate speech. Am I speaking against hate speech? What context do you mean hate speech? Are you accusing me of speaking hate speech against minority groups when I'm standing for all minorities, including the ones, particularly of a certain minority, being ethnically white, speaking against me? So, in your statements of this, don't you know if it's false, I can sue you? Technically, really these things start going downhill. Particularly, I got kicked out the library, but particularly, really things start going downhill, and I start losing all opportunities, which I have just at this point of employment due to Facebook. But shalom, shalom, and shalom. Mazel tov.